Welcome to the Realizations Podcast. I'm Andrea Gordon, your host, and I'm excited to explore the world of real estate with you. In a world where perceptions often overshadow reality, Realizations seeks to redefine what it means to be a realtor. Join me as we peel back the layers of the industry, uncovering inspiring stories and celebrating the good in real estate. Whether you're a homeowner, a fellow realtor, or simply curious, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Realizations, where perceptions meet reality. Let's dive right in. Hi there, Sherine Duncan. It is so wonderful to invite you to my podcast today, Realizations. And just to recap for our audience a little bit, what Realizations is doing is bringing people from all walks of real estate life in to the podcast so that we can sort of educate the public about what is involved in real estate. Because I firmly believe that all the sort of NAR, DOJ, commission lawsuits, all of that stuff has happened in part because people don't understand what realtors do. They think we're like Vanna White and we just, show a property and suddenly money happens and we drive around in Cadillacs and Escalades and drink champagne and complain about life. That's not what we do. That's what reality TV does, but it's not what realtors do. So I've invited lots and lots of wonderful people from all walks of real estate life onto this podcast so that we can answer some of the questions around what is it to be a realtor? What do realtors do? What is their involvement with the community? What is their involvement with everything that has to do with how real estate functions in the United States as the major economic propeller that it really is? So with that said, Shereen, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, I'm a third generation real estate agent. My grandparents were in real estate. My father had a real estate company. And so as much as I tried to stay away from it and thought I was staying away by going into lending, here I am right here, splat in the middle of selling houses. And I love it. So, it's just one of those things that's really what did it for me. It's just the shoes fit really well. It was something I was around and understand. I've built homes for myself and done some little bit of developing, had a lot of rentals, owned a mortgage company and was the sales manager for Fidelity National Title in Hawaii.
Wow.
Kind of every aspect of real estate I've been involved in except for the legal side. Thank God, knock on wood, I've never dealt with any part of the legal side.
Well, very good. That's wonderful. And you are in Oahu, and you're in a small town in Oahu. What was the name of the town again?
The town is Kailua. It's a beach town. There's a 3-mile beach. The whole little town is kind of surrounded by this beach and has a great town center, a sense of community here. I do sell all over Oahu. It takes about 45 minutes to drive to the furthest point. So you never have to drive that far, and it's easy to handle this one island. Yeah.
That's great. So when you're doing real estate in Hawaii, what are the specific things around doing real estate in Hawaii that are different than, say, doing real estate anyplace else?
Well, I come from California, so I'm very familiar with the real estate market in California, both Lake Tahoe, San Luis Obispo, and Sacramento markets. And, I don't think real estate is different in different places. I know everybody says that. Everybody says, oh, but you don't understand how real estate is here. They all say that. People are still people. Houses are still houses that have plumbing and electrical and roofs and situations that are similar. Yeah. Some areas have snow to deal with and some areas don't have heating to deal with. There's those things that are different, but all in all, real estate is a business about people, and people are going to be different and the same everywhere you go.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that old saying, everywhere you go, there you are. So, okay, what I was thinking about had to do with the fact that it's tropical there. And the kinds of things that you have to address in relationship to houses that you're selling. That's my curiosity.
Okay. Well, in that sense, yes, we have unlike Florida, where yes, there's bugs, you can see them.
Mhm.
Um, Here in Hawaii, the one thing that we deal with all the time is termites.
Mhm.
Termites is something that is a big deal. Houses are tinted on a regular basis. Put a big tent and gas the house. That happens all the time. I mean, houses get that maybe every 5 to 10 years. You
Mhm.
also want to make sure you have ground treatment here to make sure those don't get to the house because they are drawn to moisture. Well, we live on an
Mhm.
island, it's tropical, it's raining, there's moisture, it's green. So
Mhm.
these type of things happen. The other thing that we do deal with is wood rot.
Mhm.
So for us, perfect piping is not copper piping. Perfect piping is PVC pipe. Okay. The cheap
Right.
stuff, it's going to last much longer. Metal
Right.
just disintegrates over time. So those
Mhm.
are things that are different. The other thing that's remarkably different here is the value of a property, land compared to the structure. So
Yeah.
I'll just speak for California. So much of California is most of the value is in the house itself, not the
Correct.
land under it. Here,
Right.
complete flip. So you can
Mhm.
get a big piece of land, us, a big piece of land is 10
Mhm.
to 14,000 square feet. Okay, so don't laugh.
Oh,
That's a
wow. Okay.
big piece of land, yeah? That
Mhm.
with almost just a little tiny house on it is worth a lot of money because
Mhm.
we only have so much land. We're not getting any more. We're not Big Island where more islands being made because of the volcano. We don't have that. We
Mhm.
are what we are. So
Uh-huh.
just like oceanfront property, there's only so much, and then that's all there is. So the prices get driven up. The price of the land is very valuable.
And in terms of like in California, we are experiencing an absolute crisis in insurability. And I was wondering whether that was affecting you in Hawaii in relationship to what happened with the horrible fire, et cetera.
Yeah, the
Um,
Maui fires definitely created massive change with insurance here. We're having a lot of problems getting insurance. I mean, I spent an hour and a half on the phone last week calling insurance agents, trying to find one that would insure within 1,000 feet of the water, which is almost everything I sell. So
right.
trying to find that and you remember the days, I'm older, remember the days when the insurance people would call us trying to get those days are gone. We are begging for an insurance agent to speak to us and
Yeah.
to insure
Yes.
anything, but especially homes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I find even, Allstate's big here, but I even find that they have to broker everything out to somebody because Allstate
Right.
won't do it. So
Right.
people are just brokering out to these, and then I worry.
Because they're small companies.
Yeah, yeah. We used to be in the insurance business with Fidelity. And,
Right.
my security was we had huge pockets for
Right.
paying out claims. Well,
Right.
these small companies can't have huge pockets for paying out claims. So yeah, insurance is a big deal right now. It's a very big
It's
deal.
enormous. I have had deals fall apart in
Oh yeah.
California over not being able to obtain insurance. So
Mostly
honestly,
our buildings. Our buildings
yeah,
are what are harder to insure that, the condo, we have a lot, we're Honolulu, Waikiki is on this island. And
right.
those are, we are definitely having issues in a lot of the buildings.
Yeah, I would guess so. So in terms of your work, I mean, you have obviously been a realtor, you've been a mortgage broker, you've been a sales rep for a title company, you have been, working
I was
with
a sales manager for a title
sales
company. Yeah.
sales manager. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry. You've been involved in pretty much every aspect, as you said, of real estate besides the legal portion of it, which is, good. Or not, who knows? I mean, maybe you could have been a real estate
Real estate
attorney for all I
attorney.
know. But in any case, in terms of all of that, what caused you to become a real estate agent and step away from all those other portions of the business?
Well, I got out of the mortgage industry in January '06. I don't think I have to say more about that. If you've been around, you know why I didn't go back because it got
Yeah.
worse before it got better.
Yeah.
And then when I went into the title and escrow, it was a great time to do it. I
Mhm.
was there during those toughest years. Was recruited to Hawaii. Actually, Fidelity recruited me to Hawaii. Um,
Mhm.
and that was managing so many people. It was listening to all the bad things that happen every day. Who do you talk to? The manager.
Yeah.
I'm eternally optimistic. I want to be happy all the time, and I choose it. And so that was hard for me because of all the negative all day. So
Right.
I just decided to jump off. I didn't even know anyone but realtors here. And
Mm-hmm.
so I jumped off and decided to sell houses. And with not a husband at the time, with not any other income, just and living in one of the most expensive places in the world,
Yep.
jump off. And it was, I just would tell myself, success is my only option. I would say it out loud,
Yeah.
uh, my only option is to succeed. I have to, that's it. I burned the boats,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
that was basically where I was. So I did well. I worked very hard, and was
Mm-hmm.
in the top 100 right away by my second year in real estate. But I just
Brilliant.
worked really hard.
Yeah, and I don't know that our viewing audience understands that they base rankings on the volume of your sales, either through units or through dollar figures. And to get onto a top 100 list in a major metropolitan area in a major, portion of the states here is unbelievably challenging and hard. I myself am also in the top 100, and I totally appreciate that for the 10th year in a row, I think, in the San Francisco Bay Area. So I feel like, someone like you is somebody that everybody who's watching or listening to this podcast can actually look up to and can aspire to be like. And your positivity is really wonderful, because that's the other thing. I mean, I was thinking about it today. I was kind of getting into a little bit of a negative rut, let's call it that, because I've had a rash of very challenging clients, challenging situations. You know, the person buys the house and the hood from the stove falls off in the middle of the night, the day after they've bought the house. I had a bunch of those kinds of situations that come up for realtors on a regular basis. And so I was sort of vaguely hating people a little bit today. And I was saying to myself, how do you get out of that set of feelings? Because as salespeople, we have to be up. We have to be focused and up and alert and aware, and not giving in to the negativity that can surround us at times. So, besides the fact that you gave yourself success, there was no other option but success. What else do you do to stay positive and ebullient and as beautiful and fabulous as you are?
You said that I've had a tough week myself, tougher
Yeah.
than normal. And even last week and this week, it's been tough, just stuff, it's amazing. And also the glamorous side that we show the public is one thing, but I mean, we're out there cleaning out fountains, frogs are jumping on us. I'm telling you, like the stuff we do and the dirt that we do and the what we really are doing most of the time is whatever it takes.
Exactly.
That's what we do. We do whatever
Exactly.
it takes. So,
Exactly.
I feel like that side we don't tell. And it seems like that's what your podcast is about, that, this is so much more than what you said in the beginning, just looking great on some business card, and then,
Yeah.
making a lot of money. So, but there's just so much to it. And I have a huge village of people that help me look good,
Hmm.
and that
Hmm. Hmm.
help stage. And I have a
Hmm.
broker assistant who's brilliant. And my husband, he is a retired broker from Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. Okay.
my entire family are brokers, and how often I go to my family and I go to my circle of people to brainstorm and deal with, like, how are we going to deal with this situation? And it's amazing to me how so many escrows can have new situations. I don't care how long you've been in the business. It's
Oh, it's
wow.
crazy.
Okay,
It's
yeah, it's the first time that
mhm.
the fan fell on the kitchen the day after closing, I mean, the range hood, or, you just, there's so many things that you can't believe. It's an entire house. Think about it. I mean, there are so
Yeah.
many things. And of course, they're going to go wrong when you're going through escrow or
Yep.
the day after your close if you represent either side. I mean, it's when it happens. It's just like our warranties on the car. They run perfect until the day after the warranty expires. So,
Exactly.
we
Exactly.
have the same thing we're dealing with homes and with our everyday. But
Yeah,
it's great. It's great.
and oh yeah, it's fabulous.
Most of the
It is
time.
most of the time it is fabulous. It's a very rewarding career. You get very involved in the lives of your clients.
Mhm.
Um, because you're dealing with people usually in real estate when they've gotten a new job or they've lost a job or somebody's died or somebody's gotten married or somebody's had a baby or you're meeting people
Mhm.
at
Right
the
after life changes all the time.
most crucial life changes, and we end up not just being realtors, we end up being ad hoc therapists and psychologists and technicians and
Mhm.
there's an awful lot to it. This
Yeah.
year I actually rehomed several animals because of people not being able to take them places. I've found cars that were like completely locked in garages with no keys and no registrations and managed to
Mhm.
deal with getting them out of there and legally sold. I've done all kinds of things like that. And people, I think, don't see that part of the work. And you're very lucky to have this network of amazing people behind you. But you're also obviously aces at what you do. I don't think people realize also that Fidelity National Title also was that Fidelity that you saw that was the big financial giant. And now they own Chicago Title. They own all their own title.
Lawyer's title. There's tons of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that you were managing that and moved into this is also very interesting. Title problems can be among the most complicated things that come up. I had a 3-year escrow once on a piece of land in Oakland where a successor trustee inherited land that had not been properly transferred in 1846. Um,
Mhm.
and it took that long to get it handled. And everybody stayed in the transaction. It was hysterical. By the
Wow,
end of
that's
it,
amazing.
I know by the end of it, I was like friends with the guy on the other side. And, I got invited to dinner by the, by the seller. In any case, there's stuff that comes up that you wouldn't even believe possible. Or like, the garage that's built on what you think is the lot that the house was on, and it turns out to be
Mhm.
on the next door neighbor's property. There's stuff like that that comes up in real estate. People don't
Yeah.
realize we deal with stuff like that every day as realtors, as title people. Um, so in your travels as a real estate agent, how many people a day do you intersect with in different professions? And could you name the different professions that you deal with?
Yeah. I mean, I almost daily I'm speaking with painters,
Mhm.
um, electricians and handyman and plumbers and roofers and landscapers and cleaners. Um, Not to mention buyers, sellers, prospective buyers, previous sellers. It just, oh, the title and escrow people, the lenders. Um, so yeah, my phone has probably, I don't know how many contacts are on my phone, but probably upwards of 5,000. I wouldn't be
Yep,
surprised.
yep.
So it is, we are constantly, the amount of texts I get is insane. My assistant calls my email the jungle. I mean, it's just, in just a half a day, I might have 100 emails.
Yep.
So it's just, there's so much communication. We're kind of at the core of this communication. Oh, not to mention all the other realtors that we're
Yep.
working with, right?
Yep. Yep.
So we are kind of the core of this massive communication center.
Hmm.
Um, oh, photographers all the
Yeah.
time, daily.
Stagers.
Yeah, I have my own staging company, but yeah, my stager, that
Wow.
I stage for my own listings, but a
That's
huge,
very cool.
huge, huge warehouse and a huge box truck now.
Wow.
That's just, for Hawaii Lux, my little group. So,
That's excellent.
um, yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot. Yeah, that was a crazy question. The amount of people that we talk to in one day it has to be one
And
of the most amount of people any in profession probably speaks with. I never thought about that, but yeah, it's crazy.
maybe the movie industry might be similar in some ways, but the
Mhm.
thing is, we are all as entrepreneurs handling all of this ourselves. We don't have a big entourage. We don't have a big studio system in back of us, unless you count the brokerage as the studio system. But really,
Mhm.
what happens when a realtor is a realtor, they hang up their shingle in that particular brokerage, and you're an entrepreneur. They should be considering you as their clients.
Mhm.
It should be all about you, and they're lucky to get the money that you pay them from each transaction. That's how I view it in any case.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now, which is your company again?
I have Hawaii Lux Homes. I am brokered by eXp Realty, so it
Mhm.
is great. I don't have to pay them anything actually, which is that's
That's
very,
marvelous.
very helpful. The 16th,
Yeah,
I give them a cap, but they give it back in stock, so it's okay.
yeah.
And they let us be, it's agent owned, so we're very independent and get to keep the money that we make. And they are there for support, so it is nice to have that. I've been with
That's
7 years,
wow.
so
That's marvelous. Yeah,
yeah.
and so you must have been one of the very early agents with EXP. I would
Almost the
guess.
first one in
Mhm.
Hawaii, pretty much. There
Yeah.
was one before me, but then we've gone up to almost 800 agents in Hawaii. So
Wow, very, very
yeah.
cool. Yeah, they're big here. Compass, of course, is huge. That's where I am. And I was with Coldwell Banker forever and ever and ever, and then
Yeah.
forward away over to Compass. But I
That is the funny thing about real estate. I mean, really, I have so many wonderful agent friends in every single company, and it's
Mhm.
not the company that makes the agent. The
Yeah,
agent makes the agent in every case, and you're going to
yeah,
find bad agents and great agents at every company. And so it's really important. That's the
exactly.
other thing, as an agent, like you're talking about, that we make our own reputation, and our word is the only thing we have.
Right.
Word number
Right.
one. If we say we're going to do anything, you're going to do it. If
Yep.
it means you said that, now you're not going to get paid, well, you're not going to get paid, because guess what? Your word's the only thing you're going to have. And
Exactly. That's I think a really important distinction with other sorts of jobs that people can have. It's all you. You reap what you sow. You really, really do in real estate. And I'm fortunate, you're fortunate. We have very good, solid businesses based on a huge back. I'm starting my 27th year as a realtor at this point. And I've learned a hell of a lot. And what I've learned the most lately is that I know what I don't know. Um, and I'm trying to
that's
exactly.
the biggest no there is.
So in terms of when you see that your life touches all these other different professions, all those people are completely dependent on our industry, the real estate industry, for their livelihoods. And also,
Mhm.
you can extrapolate out from that into the cities themselves. They all survive on transfer taxes from property sales and property taxes. And are property taxes ad valorem in Hawaii?
We are the lowest property taxes in the US. We are at point zero, I believe it's the lowest in the US. I think Wyoming is close. Uh,
Wow.
it's like 0.35%. And coming from California, that was
Uh,
huge difference. In fact, I
yeah.
came in, I was telling everybody, look, these figures are wrong. These closing costs are wrong. You didn't put the property tax in there. And
Right, right. Oh my
found out
God,
they're
yeah.
pretty much
My
non-existent.
own personal property taxes are $20,000 a year.
Oh my God. I remember I used to own a lot of houses in California.
It's like,
I know.
and then do you have things like sewer lateral ordinances where you are?
No, not
Or
that I,
point of sale ordinances of any kind? Is there anything specific that Hawaii makes a realtor's client take care of before something can close?
I don't, if I'm following you, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, we have a sewer lateral ordinance where the sewer line needs to be free and clear of debris, cracks, anything to where it
Um,
meets with the city line. So,
Well, we
yeah.
do not, there's nothing telling us to do anything as far
Mhm.
as that goes. But very often, because most of Hawaii was built in the 50s and 60s, we will encourage our clients to get a sewer scoping. And
Mhm.
when they do, if there is a crack or if there is an issue, if it's the buy side they of the transaction, they will often ask the selling side to please give them a credit to take care of it. So
Got
that
it.
that happens, but nobody's regulating that. That is just us looking out for our clients. Uh,
Mhm.
so yeah, we do.
And
And
do
then
you,
sometimes I've had my sellers, because I know it's an old house, go ahead, let's get this scoped ahead of time. We always do a pre-home inspection, find out what's going on with the house. So if we do a pre-scoping, which we have done in the past where there were issues, we just have it all. It's usually 5 to 10 grand to deal with
I know
these.
it can be very, very expensive.
Yeah,
I've
but
had a
better
few
to deal
who
with it
want,
than lose the sale.
yeah, exactly. So beyond the point of sale ordinances, are there any other specifics around, like here in California, as you know, we handle all the contractual matters, whereas like if we were in New York, an attorney would close the deal. Does an attorney close the deal in Hawaii, or do the
No, but an escrow company does. I mean, we don't take, it's the escrow company that takes the place of what the attorneys are doing. I mean,
got
and
it?
we do have the escrow just like you
So it's
do.
sort of more like Southern California where escrow companies do pre. My sister was selling a house in Southern California and wanted me to help her. And now, knowing what I know now, I would have just referred it to an agent down there. But at the time, I was like, oh, great, I'm going to sell this house in LA. So I went to LA and got this place ready and sold it. And then I kept cracking the escrow officer up because I kept on trying to do all the paperwork. And they're like, no, 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 honey, it's okay. We do it. So that's the one thing that I think is very different, that each state does have a different way of closing the transaction.
They do. And I think it's funny because I have lived in California in both the way they do it northern and southern. Central Coast, they do it southern way.
Mhm.
So I've seen both of those too.
Right, right. So if my viewers want to get a hold of you in Hawaii, because you're obviously phenomenal, and thank you so much for coming on the show. How do they do it? What, if you could please give us your contact information so that they can call you up when they're buying that big, beautiful house in Oahu. Let us
Hmm. Yeah, my name is Sherine Duncan. It's Sherine. I'm the only one in the world. So
know.
Google me. I am the one you're going to find. But yeah, Shereen M. Duncan. Even if you just go Shereen Duncan, my phone number is 808-554-2262. And I am the founder of Hawaii Lux Homes, LUX. And I also can be found my email is Shereen@hawaiiluxhomes.com. And this year has been a great year. My best year yet.
Excellent.
And we've sold almost 100 million in sales this year. So it's been a really good year. I love it. I honestly am a morning person and a night person, and I do work 7 days a week. I know that's crazy, but I love it. And while I love it, I'm gonna keep doing it. But um yeah, so I'm here and I'm present and I enjoy what I'm doing right now.
That is fantastic. Now, one last question before we finish here. Do you have a team of people that you work with inside your company, or is that 100 million all you?
That 100 million is mine. But I do have a team. And they are amazing. I have a group of mostly young agents that I help mentor and help just get established into the real estate industry, and I love it. So I do have all of them that I do take a small percentage of what they do,
Of
and
course.
it does go towards me on
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I also have partnered this year with another amazing legend of a realtor that I got blessed to have him partner with me. So a lot of we do some big listings, just a few together because he's
Mm-hmm.
wanting to slowly phase out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do a little bit of that together. I
Great.
work well with other agents. I really do. So,
I can tell you're a mensch.
well, I spent a whole lifetime catering to real estate agents. I owned a mortgage company. What did I do? I did everything to try to get real estate agents business. Same
Yeah.
thing, the title company. So same thing when I was a little girl for my daddy. So it's been my whole lifetime of trying to make other realtors happy. And it's just, I still do that. So
Great.
it's worked well because I really do well with other agents and a lot of
That
times do co-list with them.
that's wonderful. And do you have like an assistant? Do you have a transaction coordinator? What's your staff like?
Full-time broker assistant. I have a full-time staging person.
Mm-hmm.
I have a full-time transaction coordinator. I have a full-time virtual assistant in the Philippines.
I have one
Um,
too.
And then I have a marketing person out of New Orleans that I adore.
Mhm.
I don't know. The team is kind of big because I just need a lot of.
No, $100 million a year, you're doing the business of a major corporation. So think about it that way. You have to have a team like that. I have the same thing. I have an assistant, I have a listing coordinator, I have a transaction coordinator, I have a marketing company that I work with. You have to have all of that, or else you can't do the business that you do. Well, you are just an awesome guest. What is your website so we can tell people?
HawaiiLuxHomes.com.
Excellent. Thank you, Shereen. I am so happy to have met you, and we'll be referring business back and forth, I hope.
Absolutely. Thank you,
All
Andrea.
right. All right. Take good care.
Okay, aloha.
Aw. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Realizations Podcast. I hope our conversation has shed light on the true essence of real estate and the people behind it. As we wrap up, I want to extend my gratitude to our listeners for their support and engagement. Your feedback drives the heart of this podcast, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to the Realizations Podcast and leaving a review. Your support helps us reach more listeners and spread our message of positivity in the real estate industry. Until next time, remember to keep an open mind, embrace empathy, and always seek the good in every situation. I'm Andrea Gordon signing off from Realizations. See you next time.